Hello, I'm Ray. Welcome to Wine Tap Tips. I'm here with Mike Wood, the founder, owner of Shed Horn Winery. And we're just going to kind of run through his wines quite briefly, touch base on them, since we've been talking about different styles and how wines are balanced. We're starting off with the Sauvignon Blanc. And Mike, can you kind of tell us how your Sauvignon Blanc is a little bit different than the typical Sauvignon Blanc that most people see out in retail stores, such as your typical California or New Zealand?
Okay, what we do, 100% stainless steel. We're not doing anything unique or different really. But, the fruit sources that we have, we source some fruit from mountainside vineyards, higher elevations up in Lake County, where we get some nice melon, pineapple, ripe tropical fruit flavors from the hillside vineyards. We do blend some Valley Floor fruit with that, where you get more of the acid and herbaceous, maybe a little more green lemongrass type of characters. Blend those together and come up with a nice, unique blend that's a little different than most of what you see in the marketplace today. So that's kind of what we're doing with our Sauvignon Blanc.
So your Sauvignon Blanc, that lemongrass, is the typical style, or what you should look for to find that says California, but that higher elevation gives you that pineapple type flavor, where you're not getting the grapefruit type wannabe that you're getting out of California as people try to copy New Zealand.
Exactly.
So it's a good example of what California should be, but also a good expression of Lake County.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Now we're going to your Chardonnay. Now, what can you tell us about the Shed Horn Chardonnay?
So with our Chardonnay, our goal is to barrel ferment around 60–65% of the wine. We do use a lot of neutral barrels, once or twice used, and then a little bit of new oak, kind of a combination of French and American. We put that barrel fermented portion through malolactic, so you get some of that buttery, creamy characters from the malolactic fermentation, some nice vanilla from the oak, and then we blend back the 35–40% from stainless steel, where we get some nice acid, nice fresh fruit, green apple, maybe little pear flavors, things like that. So we have very nice balanced wine, lush mouthfeel, but you still get some nice acid and fresh fruit from the stainless steel portion. So we're kind of in between that heavy, buttery, over oak kind of style and your 100% stainless steel style. We're kind of in the middle there. So it appeals to both fans. So that's what we're doing with our Chardonnays.
So it's a good expression of a Chardonnay that pairs well with food, but also will work well on its own. You have that nice acidity to cut through the food. The oak doesn't overwhelm it because you're using a combination of neutral and new, that gives you that reduction, as well as the spice where you get that vanilla flavor. It's a lot like the French approach. You just use a little mallow to lower the acidity down a touch to make it more approachable, but not lower it so much that it becomes a flabby Chardonnay. It's another example of keeping a wine balanced. Okay. Now we are going to revisit the Zinfandel, which I absolutely love. This is what I've often described out in the marketplace as a old style Zinfandel, and it's really sad that I refer to a Zinfandel that is a style from the 80s and 90s as old style. No, I am not that old, and but it's let me refer to it this way: not old style, traditional, traditional Zinfandel. I always describe this as soft, seductive, elegant, not overwhelming, food friendly. It has a weight on the mouthfeel, but it doesn't overwhelm you with this high alcohol burn. the fruit is very present. Can you explain to the viewers how you're able to achieve that and why?
So again, with the Zen, we do a little bit of blending with the Petite Sirah to add a little bit of structure, a little bit of color. But the goal again is using some nutrients, we try to pick the fruit, not letting it get overripe and really shriveled, pruny, real jammy characters. High alcohol, we try to avoid that. We want it to be more elegant, like Ray said, a little lower alcohol, and just lush, easy drinking at the middle. Shows some beautiful, nice red fruits, and just easy to drink, great with food. Just again, balanced, soft wines, easy to drink right out of the bottle. You don't have to age these wines. You can open them up, and they're very lush and nice to drink.
Can you tell us a little bit about the non-typical, both about the blend and then the story behind the label?
So, as I was saying, the non-typical is a term used in the outdoor industry for antlers that are unique and not symmetrical, not even. And our goal is to use some varieties in the blend that you don't see in a lot of the red blends nowadays. So we're using Barbera, Petit Verdot, Syrah, Zen, Cabernet, Petit Sirah, some different combinations that you don't see in a lot of the red blends these days. So our goal is to come up with a name that was different and unusual, so that worked against the non-typical. Work for our program and our antler theme. And
this is from a deer you harvested?
Yeah, correct. That's an actual photo that we built into the label from a mule deer that I was able to harvest in Idaho back in the early 80s. And Boone and Crockett, he's a record book buck. My first time out of state hunting, I was very lucky to be able to do that. It's a once in a lifetime type thing, and we use that as the theme for the label for the non-typical.
Now this is, you said, Zen, Cabernet, Barbera, Petit Sirah,
Petit Verdot.
Petit Verdot. So you have quite a few wines that have that backbone and structure, but you also have the wines that add acid and complexity to it to kind of really go well with food.
Yeah, it's a great food wine. Works very well, barbecue and roasted meats and things like that. It's just a very versatile, but it's also just a lush, rich mouthfeel wine that you can just sit and drink glasses of this and not have to have it with food, but it does pair very well with food.
It is something you can have with your meal, and then what I like about it is you have the big structure and backbone that you could do it with the meats, a tomato-based barbecue sauce that the Barbera in it is something that goes very well with your tomato-based sauces. So if you wanted to do pasta for your starch, this would work well with it. I mean, a little bit of Sicilian in my background, so I'm always thinking pasta with my barbecue. Yes, that
absolutely
perfectly. But it's just a fun, what I describe as a fun comfort bread. You can have it with your hamburger, pizza, or anything else.
Yeah, it works. It's very versatile.
And then now we're going to go to Cabernet. Cab is king, of course.
Yeah.
In all your wines, your fruit is sourced from Lake County.
Correct.
Now, your background, you've been doing this for 35 years, you said?
Yes.
So 35 years in the wine business. You've been running, or you've had Shed Horn up and running since
2004.
2004, and before that, well, at the same time when you were trying to launch Shed Horn, you were the winemaker at Shannon Ridge, and then before that, Quinnock Lime Tree. So that's a pretty impressive pedigree, if I could humbly say so.
Yeah, for Lake County, it's a couple of the top programs that have been around since the early 80s. And I was fortunate to work at Quinnock for 22 years, kind of learned the trade there. and
I mean, with Orville Lagoon.
Yeah. Walt Raymond was the first winemaker when I first started there. He helped start that program, and he was kind of my mentor in the beginning, and got me excited about doing wines. And very fortunate to work with him, and then worked my way up as a winemaker and worked there 22 years, and started the Shannon Ridge brand about 8 years back, and built them into a very successful brand, and all the while kind of tinkering with my little label. About 4 years ago, built it up to a point where I could do it full time, so that's what I'm doing now. It's very fortunate, and I love the business. It's so much fun to go out and travel and meet people. And it's they say it's romantic, but it is a lot of hard work, and, but it's fun.
People always come up to us and say, "Boy, I wish I had your job. You're out there drinking wine." Well, it's stressful. It's hard work, but it's a enjoyable labor of love.
Absolutely.
I mean, we get paid to enjoy wonderful wines like this, enjoy great food, and meet incredible, interesting people.
Right.
And it doesn't hurt when they enjoy the great outdoors and good food and wine as
Absolutely.
well. The other thing I was going to ask you is, here's the thing. We'd mentioned this earlier today, Lake County. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, Lake County is north of Napa, and it's kind of east of Sonoma and Mendocino County. And you'd be surprised at how many of these wineries down in Napa are buying Lake County juice and adding it to their wines and selling it as Napa Valley wine, because it only has to be 85% Napa Valley to legally call it Napa wine. So I'm Ray. I'm here with Mike Woods, and here's to living the wild wine life.
Salute.
Salute. Now, was that so painful?